Hey, it's Thursday. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, good morning, whenever you have to be happen to be listening to this or watching this. If you're doing it live, good afternoon. It's just Parlays with Chris King. I'm your host, Scott Steehn. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com. Winnersandwiners.com, the preeminent site in the world for predictive sports analysis. Pretty happy to be here, Chris. How's your Thursday so far?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Can't complain. How's things going?
Watching those lines go up, 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 baby.
Yeah, no, it's not even funny looking at how wonky some of these numbers were. Like I said last night when I sent out premium stuff, the Yankees were at minus 160. You look at it now and it's moved almost 90 cents.
I'm starting to see some 245s creep in there, buddy. 245. So
hey, at least that would move it down from 250.
We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about closing line value, and it is extremely important in baseball when you're looking to bet the favorite, because something that may be a good bet the night before can be prohibitive by the time that first pitch is thrown. We saw that with our Atlanta Braves pick day before yesterday, as it was opened at minus 130 on the run line and was up to minus 180 by game time. So
yeah, and you said the money line had jumped up to almost minus 300.
Right, I was seeing minus 300 in some spots. So if you like it, you should grab it quickly. Rye Cape says Steehn was on point with the Avs. I appeared on the morning show on Morningwood with Allie and Lenny. First thing I said, I came on. They go, well, "What do you think of the hockey game tonight?" I said, "Avs in the over," and everybody else was on Tampa Bay, and Reichel was on the over with me, but those two were on the under. So I should retire.
I think in the case of Tampa Bay, they hurt themselves early. They got back in the game, but then neutral zone turnovers, they'll kill you.
Killed them in the end too.
Yep. And I mean that's exactly right. That's what did them in an overtime. You turn it over in the zone, you give up a big rebound off an odd man rush, and as good as Vasilevsky is, he can't cover everything all the time.
Absolutely not. Rye says he's still cashing Braves team totals. Oh, anything with the Braves is, if you haven't, the last 2 weeks, if you haven't ridden the Braves, and we got on them kind of late. I know you've been on them pretty good. It kind of looks like last year a little bit, Chris. They got it started a little bit earlier, but they were fumble fucking around last year, treading water, 5 under, 4 under, 500. Then they did back, and all of a sudden, here it comes. Oh, it's the Braves. There you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been fortunate with some of the competition that they've had to face.
Right.
Now they get to go to Wrigley over the weekend. God help us if the wind's blowing out like it's been blowing out this week.
We talked about that game yesterday about how I got sucked into 11.5 at Wrigley. How could I got to fucking play the under? You tweeted it yesterday. Well, it's 5th inning. It's over.
Yeah, that was, and Frank Schwindel, they might as well put him in the bullpen because he plays first base, but he's pitched multiple times in the last week.
Wear out his arm. Andrew complimented me on my NHL pick. Andrew, the only thing I can say about me getting two sides right on the NHL game is don't get used to it. I'm very fortunate. I'm going to come on. I'm going to come on the show and I'm going to blow my own horn. But for those of you that are regular listeners, the NHL is not my forte. There are guys. Everyone I do a show with basically knows more about the NHL than I do. But I'm learning. I'm developing my own opinions. There's nothing more dangerous than somebody with a little bit of knowledge, Chris.
That's true. But just back to the Braves real quick. Let's see who they've beaten in this win streak. They open it up by winning the final game against Arizona.
Okay.
Then they swept the Rockies at Coors Field.
All right.
Then they took 2 from Oakland.
Okay. By the way, Rockies at Coors Field playing 500 ball. So they're not dreadful. The Rockies are not a good team. At home, they're 500.
Right. Then they took 4 from the Pirates.
Okay.
And then they took 3 from the Nationals.
Okay.
So I think even a mediocre, well, we'll say a 500 type team, you would think would probably take out of that 14 games, they'd take at least 8 or 9.
Sure, absolutely.
So I mean, I'm not taking anything away from them. Sure, they've won 14 in a row. Good for them. You take advantage of the spots you have in the schedule because then you got teams like the Angels that lose 14 in a row.
Yeah, but that's absolutely right. And there's part of that is you bring up a great point again about the level of competition, but the other part is to be a division champion, you have to win those games.
Right.
You have to beat up on the weak sisters in your division. If you're in the Central the American League, you got to beat up on the Tigers. You got to beat up on the Royals. You got to win. Of those 19 games, you got to win, 11, 12, 13 of them to really have a shot, because you're going to have enough hard games,
Right.
Last team.
As Gene Smith at Ohio State used to say, we're not playing the little sisters of the poor.
That's right. It's one of my favorite stand-ins for bad teams still to this day. Is the little sisters of the poor. No question about it.
So, I'd probably favor them over the Nationals right now.
Ryan wants to know, the last team to beat the Braves were the Phillies. I'm going to guess it was the Diamondbacks, since it was the Diamondbacks. They won the last game of the series. So
yeah, Arizona took the first two of that series. They won 6-2 and 8-7 at Chase Field, and then Atlanta took the finale 6-0.
Rice says Roger Clemens' son was pitching yesterday. Well, there you go.
Well, that's because he's pitching for Detroit, and Detroit will take anybody that has a pulse.
You can spot him because of the acne on his back and his gigantic biceps.
I think that they tried to get Mickey Lolich, but he was unavailable.
Mickey Lolich, oh, absolutely, the star of the 1968 World Series. Is that right?
67, I thought.
67, 68. The Cardinals won. 67, the Cardinals, Detroit won, where Mickey Lolich pitched in 3 games. Yeah, that was. That's one of my first baseball memories of somebody other than the Kansas City Athletics, was the Mickey Lolich being the MVP, the chubby lefty. Something about that guy I liked.
I mean, at 81, he probably still is better than half of Detroit's rotation.
I really wanted to like that team. I really wanted to like the Tigers and the Royals. I thought there was a new sheriff in town. Maybe this.
I know you were right. It was 68.
68 was Lolich.
Yep, he was 3-0 with a 167 earned run average through complete games in all 3 games.
Yeah, that's Madison Bumgarner can sit the fuck down. I thought that. Okay, so what year did the Cardinals win?
They must have won in 67.
I had to turn backwards. Okay.
Yeah, wasn't that the year Bob Gibson had the 112?
Yeah, that was 67 when they raised the mound, or when they lowered the mound. Sorry. But you know how tall it was before? 8 feet. It was quite an advantage.
Could you imagine Randy Johnson pitching off a mound that was 8 feet? Now the question would be, could he throw strikes? Because he had issues early on in his career anyway. But having to throw down at that kind of angle
that closes that window quite a bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it really does. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're having fun, if you're digging what we're doing, we'd appreciate it if you just smash that thumb, give us the like. That we plead for, we beg for every day. It's the only way for our bosses, because our bosses know that we're going to come on and we're going to do a professional, fantastic show every time. So the only way they have the judges is how much you guys like it. So that's why we ask you to hit that thumbs up. We ask you to subscribe, of course, to the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel and the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel, where you are watching this content exclusively right now. Do you know, Chris, that some of the complaints that like, you couldn't find our videos later? Do you know why that was?
No, why?
Okay, so I'm going to explain it, and this will help why we're just on the Max Wagers Network, because we would post them in 2 places, and then they would get taken down as stolen content.
Oh.
Like one site was ripping off the other site. They didn't know there was a symbiotic relationship there. So YouTube would see it in 2 places and go, oh, fuck, it's stolen. We're just pulling it down. So That's why, to answer 2 questions we get the most, number 1, that's why you had a hard time finding us sometime after hours, quote unquote. And number 2, it's why we've made the move to be exclusively on the Max Wagers Network and discontinued on Winners and Whiners. So I just wanted to take care of that.
So tell your friends, tell your neighbors.
That's right. I
have to agree with what Brandon just said about the Padres,
Yep.
Especially with Musgrove pitching.
Musgrove is a must play, Brandon. You are absolutely correct. We have made a goodly amount of money on Joe Musgrove. I believe he is now 11 for 11 or 12 for 12 on quality starts.
I want to say 11.
I think that's right.
But he'll probably be 12 for 12 today, unless the wind, unless Chicago gets the ball up in the air and it carries.
Right.
Yeah, 11 for 11. He's thrown 72 innings, struck out 72.
AJ says the Royals got me yesterday. Yeah, that was a popular pick by a lot of my commenters and viewers of my videos. A lot of guys had the Giants on their card, and
I think the only concerning thing that I had with that one was the Giants didn't announce who was going to pitch until gotten way late.
And I got to be honest though, if you've been listening to me, you would have decided it didn't matter. As Heasley was going, the Royals haven't been able to score, and Well, I think they scored. They win 3-2, and 2 of the runs were unearned.
Well, I mean, we've seen that happen a lot lately. We said that happened with the Rays the other day with Kluber pitching.
Right. See, here's the problem with doing what I do for a living is I don't follow my home team as close as I normally would. So every day I see a pitcher in the box score, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And that was the case yesterday. I saw somebody like pitched an inning. Like, I don't even know who that is.
Was that Cuellas, the guy who won?
That must have been it. Yeah, because all the other ones I knew. So was that? Did he pick up the win?
Yeah, he got the win.
All right. Well, there you go. Never heard of him. Never heard of her.
They were talking about, he had a great story or something I saw a couple weeks ago, I don't know. I don't remember what it was because it didn't really matter to me because I'm like,
right.
Who cares? He's a reliever for the Royals. Who the hell cares?
Not going to be here long. That's who you are.
Yeah, kind of like when they're talking about Major League at the beginning when they're like Mitchell Friedman. And they're like, who the fuck are these guys?
That guy's dead.
Yeah.
Hey,
they're shitty.
If you want to back up Musgrove tonight, if that's one of the plays you really like and you want to load up,
then you need to do it in the next 5 minutes because the game starts at 2:20.
Yep, that's going to make a terrible promo for Caesars. Man, I was going to tie that right in too. So, yeah, maybe not that one. Unless you can
Martin Perez is facing the Tigers.
There you go. That's not bad. One of my I'll tell you what, my kids could do this in 7 minutes. But yeah, get over to Caesars. Check it out. We got a great offer over there. It's better than it was, Chris. It was $1,100 before, and Caesar says, you know what? We've been having so much success with this. We're going to bump it up to $1,500. So if you're normally a $50 player, $100 player, you want to take a shot at it. You want to take a shot in the dark. You want to take something like that. You want to take a sure thing, a lock. Then this is time to do it over there at Caesars. Got to have the win. Got to have the code. What is it, Chris?
It is. I told Jim that we wanted to shorten it, but he said no.
Okay.
It is, hold on, I gotta find it here again because now that it changed, I have to remember. Oh yeah, Video Winners 15.
Video Winners 15. That's right. Video Winners 15. Man, for a couple of glorious days, it was CZR 15. That was so much fun. But no, it is Video Winners 15. Put that code in. Of course, couple of things that should be obvious, but we have to mention them anyway. It has to be in a state where Caesars exists. You have to be 21 to play, except for New Hampshire, Wyoming, where you have to be 18. And, of course, it's your first bet, your first deposit. Make it good. You can read all about the details. We provided the link for you, as well as the code in the description of today's video. And speaking of the Max Wagers Network, Chris, do what I do. Spend all day watching Max Wagers Network content starting at noon with Sean Higgs doing Midday Money.
I thought you were going to say, be like me and pop up on all the shows.
1 o'clock is Allie Burns doing Midday Money. You and me right here, buddy. 2 o'clock every day. I slide over to Studio B at 3 o'clock with my pal Scott Reichel doing Back to the Window. 4 o'clock, Sean Miller, soccer from around the world. And, of course, 5 o'clock is guys tying it all up and talking about all those late line movements for the day. And that's Detroit Lenny and the Earl brothers, Nick and Tim, giving you your game time decision. So there you go.
And just as a scheduling note for the 6 or 7 of you that actually tune in and watch us when we do the NASCAR show, there won't be one tomorrow because NASCAR is not racing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They're off for Father's Day. I told you it's still hard to get used to Father's Day without that horrible, boring race in Michigan. So that's tomorrow.
Well, instead they moved it to the summertime so you could really enjoy being bored.
What do you guys think about Game 6 tonight? The NBA, not sure what team. I gave Boston at home. Take Golden State on the money line tonight.
The funny thing about that is when I looked at the game earlier, you know what was trending on Twitter? No Scott Foster.
Oh, nice. By the way, Rye's getting an early start on hating the Philadelphia Eagles. So their new logo is the guy puking. So
that's fantastic.
That's a Philly fan right there. I'm going to beat the rush, and I'm going to start just hammering my team in June. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, I mean that way you get good seats on the bandwagon. You don't have to wait for
Rice's Studio B is pimped out. Oh, dude, it's so much nicer than the studio. It's like night and day. This is just a trash place. This is just basically like a shipping container where I do the show with you. But once I move over to the spacious Studio B, all is so much better.
Well, that's good. Because we don't need you to class up the place. I mean, you need to class it up with Reichel in there, looking like a Cabbage Patch Kid with that beard.
Right. Very good. AJ says, I've seen some on Boston first or second quarter. Yeah, I've got an angle on this. We'll talk about it here in a minute. I know you're going to talk about the NBA game. Chris, I think we've taken care of all our housekeeping stuff, except to mention all about our premium picks. You're looking for premium parlays, Chris's best multi-game plays of the day. Make sure you check out his link there in the description. He has premium plays available daily, weekly, monthly, lifetime, whatever
in perpetuity.
it is. In perpetuity. I do have my premium picks available as well. We just about had the immaculate slate yesterday. Chris went 4-0-1 as we tied on the Yankees Rays.
Yeah, I had that too. It made one of my 4-teamers a 3-teamer because of the push.
Scandalous. So we've been running pretty good on the premiums this week. So if you want to catch up with that, you can click the link in the description, or hell, get both of them. Father's Day, you're going to be.
Go for the gusto.
That's right. So that being said, Chris, let's get to it. Let's make some money. Let's check out some baseball.
Let's take note that there's not a ton of games today because, like we said, the A's and Red Sox are playing now, and the Cubs and Padres go off in about 2 minutes. So,
okay.
By the time Scott rolls over to Studio B, there'll only be 5 games left because 2 other games will have started in the 3:00 hour.
Anybody getting ready to smash that button right now? Chris, we're gonna play the over again in Chicago. It's 11.
I think you'd have to.
The wind's just fucking cranking. Musgrove on the mound doesn't bother you?
No, because you got to remember that Schwarber gave up 6 homers to the Yankees the other day.
I love Schwarber. You like a good chicken shawarma?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I wish that Matt Schwarber would keep the ball in the ballpark, but you got to work with what's there.
Absolutely.
And correct. Just looking at they're saying that according to ballparkpal.com, which is what we use for the weather, they say the wind's about 15 miles an hour going out to just right of center. So
okay, I'm getting sucked in with Musgrove on the mound, only 15-mile-an-hour winds. I'm going to help him play the under.
Well, before you say that, they're saying that the home run percentage going to left field is increased by 33%, to left center 62%, and to dead center 71% over a normal afternoon.
In other news, the stove is still hot.
Right. They project a 17% increase in runs over a normal game at Wrigley.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not okay. So if your normal game at Wrigley is 9, let's say, a 17% is
about 1.6.
Yeah. So you're
1.7.
So there's still a little value there. All right, fine.
I get that Musgrove's got that 1.5 ERA, but I mean, I'm not thinking we're seeing Justin Steele, Darvish like we saw the other night.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, very good. All right, let's get to it, buddy. Let's talk some baseball.
All right, how about we go with another game from Coors Field. Hey, the Guardians have done us some favors. They've won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Won there yesterday 7-5.
You cover the run line, so they're dead to me. But yeah, you're right.
They covered the run line yesterday.
Yesterday, not the day before.
Oh, right, not the day before. Tristan McKenzie going against Chad. I wish I was cool, which is usually Reichel's catchphrase. But cool. He started strong. Now he's 4-3, 3.70 ERA, but his FIP is 4.32, 1.389 WHIP, and he gets killed by left-handed hitters. Facing left-handed hitters, he gives up over 5.5 runs a game. So look for Jose Ramirez to have a big game here because he's absolutely killed right-handed pitching. The Guardians, they're 10th in the league in runs per game. They're 10th on the road. Colorado, we know they can score at home. They just can't stop anybody else from scoring.
No, we talked about that the other day. What was it, like 5.9 to 5.8 or something? They score 5.8, give up 5.9.
Yeah, now it's 5.7 and probably 5.8.
Right.
Still, the margin isn't any different.
Nope.
Do you have any faith in Chad? I wish I was cool.
If you'd asked me 6 weeks ago, yeah, when he looked like quite a steal for the Colorado Rockies, but he struggled. He struggled his last time out. He had a nice start against Atlanta and Max Fried in the middle of that Atlanta winning streak. Gave up no earned in 6 innings, but I'll tell you who I do like. I'm a lot more pro McKenzie than I am anti cool.
Are you pro Spuds McKenzie too?
Big fan. If you painted, you put a little black paint around my dog's eye, he would look kind of like Spuds McKenzie. He's a white dog like that. So, I like McKenzie. He's having a decent season. He got dinged a little bit against Baltimore, but he's going to give you length. You're not going to have to get the bullpen involved as much, and that's a good thing. We've talked about this Colorado bullpen, and they are not good, Chris. They are not good at all.
Yeah, and to your point about Cool, he won 3 straight starts from April 18th to April 30th. Since then, he's 1-3 with 3 no decisions, and has gone less than 5 innings in 4 of those 7 starts.
Well, yeah, and to draw that out a little bit as far as what the team has done, the team's lost 6 of his last 7 after that winning streak. So
that's true too.
He even the games that he pitches well, the first game of that streak, he went 6, gave up 1 earned against Arizona. Still ended up losing 4-1. So
yep, and then he threw, like you said, he threw 6 scoreless against Atlanta, and they lost that 3-1.
Right. Yeah, kind of a couple of tough luck losses there, but I think we're getting a decent price here on the Guardians. You know, we've been seeing this at 170, 160 or whatever, so gives us an opportunity to get on the Guardians, who are, you know, again, don't look now, playing pretty good baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they're closing the gap in the Central there.
Yeah.
Mainly helped by the fact that the Twins can't keep anybody healthy.
I want to say they've won 12 of 15, because I think I did them the other day, and they'd won 10 of 13, and they won 2 straight since then. So
yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay, so yeah, again, playing pretty good ball right now. I think it's a good price for Cleveland. I'm with you here. I wish there was more value. Look at how little value there is on the run line.
I know. I was like, is that a typo?
Yeah.
Apparently, it wasn't.
No, because it's the road team, and it's Colorado, so you're going to see a lot of runs. You're more likely to cover the spread, yada yada yada. So
and Marlowe, no, the Cubs aren't using the T-ball stand. Apparently, that was sent back down to Iowa.
What are they down 3-0 already?
No, not yet. Apparently, Swarmer actually got an out. So no, he's got 2 outs.
Go on.
Good Lord, I would have figured this would have been a year fee, but you know,
lock in that under.
He got Profar looking, and Cronenworth flew to fairly deep center.
Okay, all right.
So let's see what Machado does before we get on the under bandwagon.
Fair enough.
Sad part is, they're already billing San Diego as a 69% favorite to win the game, even though their first 2 guys were retired.
It's not good for you Cubs fans.
And Machado singles on the first pitch.
There you go. Hey, so for this one, don't mess with the run line. That's my advice. At 45 cents of value, I don't see it. And it's I'm trying to not let the fact that Cleveland burned me on the run line the other day play into this. But I'm loath to take 45 cents. That's just not worth it to me to lay.
What's your minimum that you usually go with on that, in your opinion?
For a road team like that, where they're more likely to cover the run line, I'm going to look for a minimum of 55 to 60.
Gotcha.
In most circumstances. So,
all right.
All right. What else you got?
How about we continue with the trend of fading the Washington Nationals?
Poor bastards. What was the old saying? First in peace, first in war, last in the American League.
Yeah, first in war, first in peace, last in the American League. The Washington Senators.
Yep. We can extrapolate that out for the Nationals. They have not been good in a division that's been largely disappointing up until now. So
true. And of course, Rye's not commenting. I figured he'd have something to say because we don't normally put the Phillies up this early in the show.
No.
But that just shows you how bad Washington is.
Yeah.
And look who they're starting, Scott. They're starting Patrick Corbin.
Insta fade. He's one of those guys. I poured one out the other day for Yohan Adon as he got sent down. That was I was counting on that money for the next. I was hoping he'd get 2 more starts, Chris. I was really thinking he'd get 1. He got none. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering if they were going to call him back up tomorrow because they've got a double header, but I don't, like we said before, unless there's an injury, I don't think they can yank him back up that quickly.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see who Washington's going to throw in that situation.
The Nationals have said, Adon, you are dead to me. Yes, because it's always, I want to see the guy that couldn't beat out Adon. That's who I want to see pitching, Chris. I want to see that fucker. Here's a hint. Whoever it is, I'm fading him. Whoever starts that game, that doubleheader, whoever the call up is, the 20 was the 29th guy now.
Yeah, something like that.
The 8 on the roster. Yeah, I'm fading that one.
But Zach Wheeler, he's pitched pretty well for the Phillies. He's probably supplanted Nola. I would say is probably the ace of that rotation at this point.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
But Corbin, if I was putting together an all batting practice staff, it would have Senzatella and it would have Pat Corbin as the 1-2 guys in the rotation.
Yeah, he has not been good.
I mean, you look at his numbers, and God, they are putrid. Not just the 6.65 ERA, or somehow he's got 3 wins.
Right.
But you're looking here, and 66 and a third innings, he's given up 89 hits. 52 runs, 49 are earned. So this is just a continuation of last season, because last year he led the majors in earned runs allowed with 111.
Right.
But the thing is, he's not giving up
track for that.
Yeah, he's not giving up as many homers though. Last year he gave up a major league high 37. This year he's given up 9. So he's managed to knock his homer per 9 count down. Unfortunately, they're just beating the shit out of everything else.
Yeah, there's nothing good to say. His I'll just read them. His last 5 earned runs 4, 3, 7, 3, 5, 5. Not good. He does give you some length, so there's that.
That's just a sign that Davey Martinez doesn't want to go to his bullpen.
Right, because you're leaving him in there. He's giving up runs and he's still pitching into the 6th. So I have no desire to get behind Corbin here. Catching a little bit of value there, catching 65 cents.
I think you have to go with the run line here, unless you're gonna, like you said before, dump it in a parlay because of the fact that nobody wants to pay 190.
Nope. This is
190 is the low end of it, because I've seen it go as high as 215 depending on where you were looking.
If I did not have confidence in Philly to score a lot, I would be tempted to fade Corbin at 190. I wouldn't. That's one of those numbers that at this time of the year, I would probably just suck it up, because do I think that do I think Washington wins this game 1 out of 3 times? No, I do not. I do not. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, maybe. Yeah, and that makes that an overlay even at 190. So sign me up.
Yeah, and just taking a look here too. Opposing hitters this year hitting .313 against Corbin.
Jesus, that's not good.
On balls in play, 362.
So that tells you. See, to me, I told you this before. A lot of people use BABIP just to determine the luck factor, but I don't use it just for that. I think it's an indication of how well they're hitting the ball against you a lot of times.
Yeah.
Hard
hit percentage is at 44.3.
That's just off the fucking chains.
Line drive percentage is 26.1. I mean,
for those of you that follow stats, you know how incredible those last 2 numbers are. They are pretty damn incredible. So
he's just getting creamed out there. I mean, a 376 OBP, 482 slugging, so an 858 OPS.
Yeah.
And Washington is, they leave their bats on the road. They're 25th at home in scoring. I mean, we saw that with the whole series with Atlanta. They didn't put up enough runs, and the game still went over the total anyway. Like yesterday, it was 8-2.
Well, yeah, Rye was talking about playing the Braves team total over. That's been rock solid as well.
Just out of curiosity, Rye, do you know what the Phillies team total over is for today? Is it like 72.5?
Well, let's see. I can tell you. 5.5.
That's it?
I would think so. Yeah,
they could have that by like the second inning.
I would think 5.5, 3. Yeah, you're not going to make it. You're not going to dump 2 runs on it below minus 200. So yeah, it's gonna be 5.5, maybe a little juice. You might pay 115, 120.
But I mean, you'd have to ride that right now with as bad as Washington's pitching has been, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
He's not the best color man in baseball for nothing, folks.
No, I don't see any other way around that. You have to play you would have to play that. I mean,
I'm just looking here.
It's one of those situations like, well, okay, maybe I don't want to play over 5.5. Do you want any part of the under?
No.
You want any part of the under for the Phillies on that and the team total under against Corbin? No, I don't.
No, I mean, you look at the last 7 games, and Washington has given up at least 4 runs in all of them. 7, 5, 6, 4, 9, 10, and 8.
Yeah, not good. Not good, Bob.
I mean, the last time they held somebody under that was you'll remember this game, Scott. It was the 2-1 game in 10 innings.
Sure.
With Alcantara.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Where you went. There was nothing after 9. Alcantara gave a 1 run or no runs on 3 hits. Couldn't get the win.
Yeah, something like that. And you read the article there, and it says, when you read the write-up about then and the other stuff at the bottom, it says, in the aftermath of Joan Adon's outing of 3+ innings and 8 runs allowed Tuesday, the Nationals optioned the 23-year-old right-hander to AAA Rochester.
So Phillies 5.5 is 110. So you're not even paying any juice on it.
No, so that's not bad at all then.
You want
now? Would you bump it up higher than that to go for plus money? Because obviously we have no faith in Corbin whatsoever.
No, I'm. And
fine, sweet Jesus is 1-0 Cubs as Christopher Morel homers leading off the bottom of the first.
There you go. There's your fee.
404 feet to right center.
Yeah, probably look like a fly ball to second base. All right.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, I know people want to talk about one thing tonight, Chris. Let's do it.
Is it the backgammon championships?
It is not.
Wait, is the CFL tonight?
Yes, the CFL's tonight.
Hey, it's the Montreal Alouettes and the Toronto Argonauts.
Anyway, what is Edmonton now?
The Elks, I think.
Elks, that's right. The Elks, that's right.
I saw that and I was like, man, that's just because for so long they were the Edmonton Eskimos.
I know, can't do it.
Of course, I remember when back in the 80s and 90s, you had the Saskatchewan Roughriders and you had the Ottawa Roughriders.
I don't understand. You know what? I don't want to do it. No, let's not. Let's just go NBA.
Were you going to talk about Edmonton?
Well, no, I was going to talk about like derogatory terms for Native Americans versus neutral or even positive terms. I mean, there's a ton of difference between the Redskins and the Chiefs or the Braves. Right. But it all kind of gets lumped together. They got rid of the Fighting Sioux in North Dakota, and I don't know.
Are they the Bison or something now?
No.
Or is that North Dakota State?
That's North Dakota State. North Dakota is always was.
They're the Fighting Hawks.
Fighting Hawks. Right. That's right. So, I don't know. Again, I'm not a Native American. I can't speak to it. So that's why I was reluctant to say anything, because
I got you.
It doesn't really matter what my opinion is, because I'm not the one who has to hear that name and know it's about my people. So,
but I'm surprised that there hasn't been more of an outcry about the Blackhawks as much in recent years with their logo and everything else.
Agreed. So anyway,
but yeah, we'll go to the NBA, and like we said, it's bad when the trending thing is
about the
Scott
Warriors.
Foster.
Let's talk about the Warriors.
Yeah, that too.
Yes,
I'm actually going to take the Celtics tonight. I'm going to be contrarian.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are thinking Golden State's going to close this out. I'm just not sold on Golden State as we look. Their winning percentage on the road is 52%. They've had their issues on the road in the playoffs. I mean, I know that they're here, and they did win in Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
But let's face it, they were fortunate in Game 5, considering Curry didn't hit a 3 for the first time in 4 years. They were 9 of 40 or whatever from 3-point range in the game.
And still, what happened?
Oh yeah, I'm not taking away they won the game.
There you go.
But I'm wondering, is Curry's foot bugging him more than people are letting on? Because I mean, you usually don't see him play as poor or shoot as poorly as he did.
Agreed. And that's one of the things I did my video on this game, and that's one of the things I talked about. I expected to see a better performance from Curry, and I think he's going to come out motivated.
Rice says Game 7 on Father's Day, the NBA approves.
I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about that. So,
well, that's when I went down that rabbit hole. Like I said, no Scott Foster on Twitter. People are like, "Oh well, Foster's not reffing. Well, this series is over. Adam Silver's just going to let it go the way it is."
I will say this, Chris, and if you guys have watched my video, I've got Golden State here at plus 145. I think that is tremendous value, because at plus 145, it's an implied win percentage of 40.8. And I cannot get my mind around the fact that if this game is played 100 times, Golden State will win more than 41. That's exactly what I'm basing it off of. So as we've talked about ad nauseum, the point spread in the finals when it's less than 6 is meaningless. Is absolutely no value at all. If the underdog covers, they win. If the favorite wins, they cover.
Right.
It's become an irrelevant piece in the puzzle so far. Now, having said that, all streaks come to an end, and about the time I jump on it with both feet, Golden State loses by 2. So we'll see what happens. But I've got Golden State on the money line. I would advise you, if you want to back Golden State, do not take the 3.5 points. Turn it into 145, and that also goes through to many other sports, football in particular. Anytime you see a spread of 3 points or less, you should almost always, without fail, take the money line on the underdog instead of the 2.5 or 2 points, whatever.
Yeah, because you're not going to get a ton of. At best, you're going to get a push if it's 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could get a 1 point loss, or I mean,
right, but you have to admit those are fairly rare.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what it's about. And I know everybody has an anecdotal story about, well, I had this game, but thank God I had those 2.5 points, because yes, it does happen, no question about it. Mathematically, however, you are better off to take the money line there long term than you are to take the 2 points. So.
And do we have any idea what the average margin is in the NFL, just out of curiosity? Like last season, what the average was?
I could be talking out of my ass. I want to say it's somewhere around 4.7.
Let's see.
I just don't know. So let's talk about this one a little bit here.
Right.
You're on the Celtics. I'm the other way around. You are not convinced the Celtics are the road warriors, if you will.
True.
I mean, Boston's been very good at home. Warriors only 3-2 lead after winning. Oh, okay, you're just putting it.
Yeah, I was just putting that in there.
Postseason scoring offense. All right, yeah. Defense. All right, so 2 days rest. So that's 2 full days of rest. By the way, that's not
correct.
That's not play off play. It's play off play. So 13-3 last following a loss. Okay. All right. Warriors 2-6 against the number in their last 8 on the road.
Yep, and they've struggled against teams with home winning percentages above 600 as well. I think the record is right around the same thing.
Okay. All right. You know what? You can make a great case for the Celtics. I don't hate it. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Celtics win. I took the Warriors. Number one, I think they're the better team at the end of the day. Number 2, it was really all about picking up that much value at plus 145. Had to do it.
So it basically the rationale is kind of like what we were talking about with Tampa Bay yesterday against Colorado, because the money line was about the same. Right.
Exactly. It was a game I thought Colorado would win, but I couldn't lay 170 on Colorado.
Right.
Against a very, very good Tampa Bay team. Now, Scott did talk about when we did the morning show. I will give Scott and Detroit Lenny props. They're the ones that brought up playing tied at the end of regulation at whatever you get for that 450, 500.
Yeah, depending on the game. Like,
right.
Let's see what they have it listed for as far as game 2 goes, just out of curiosity.
So I will give all kinds of props to my partner for that one, because he brought it up, and Detroit Lenny agreed with him as well. So
yeah, tied at the end of regulation is plus 333 for game 2.
Okay,
as of right now on BetMGM.
So it was probably close to 4.
Yeah, probably
for game 1, 380, something like that. Okay, yeah, still a nice payout. Not like hitting a 10 team or nothing, but it's
but I mean, you take what you can get in cases like that, especially when if it's a one-off.
Absolutely. So Chris lays out a pretty good case for the Celtics here. Again, I'm not anti-Celtics. I'm not saying this is a terrible team. Warriors are going to fucking roll them up. Nothing like that. I've laid out my case on my video if you want to see more of it, but it basically just comes down to value for me. So.
Yeah, Lex said the 10-teamer almost hit. We had a couple. Contreras didn't get enough strikeouts.
I was gonna ask you when we got there how the Lex 10-teamer did.
Yeah, but Bichette was disappointing. How the hell did he go 0 for 5 against Baltimore?
Oh God.
He went 0 for 5. Guerrero right behind him was like 3 for 4, homered, and drove in like 85 runs. And
very frustrating. Very frustrating.
He did score the winning run because he made the last out in the ninth, so he got to be the ghost runner.
Terrific. You know the other thing they're calling that runner that I hadn't seen this till today?
No, what's that?
The zombie runner. Which is it's actually more appropriate than the ghost runner if you think about it. But
that's true. I just call him the deadbeat.
the loser that made the last out.
There you go. The loser runner.
God, we used to play like so much one-on-one wiffle ball with ghost runners and shit. Like just hours in the backyard, with two guys. And then, somebody else would come by and you'd figure out a way to play 2-on-1. One guy would play for both teams. And
all-time pitcher or whatever.
Right. And then finally the fourth guy would join and, oh, fuck, now you got a game. Now you got
my brother and I used to play one-on-one all the time.
I know, dude. And, you'd have people come by and like, oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. So anyway, let's talk a little money, buddy. You got some two-teamers?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Guardians. And like I said, with such a limited slate, we're going to end up with some of these ugly numbers, but there's not a damn thing I can do about it because we got like 7 games.
Remember, you can hit him up at betting royalty for all these terrible, terrible fat parlay numbers he's putting out here.
Well, I'm going
to point something out here. I'm going to save your bacon a little bit. Go ahead.
As I say, the numbers are horrible. Like I said, the Yankees game yesterday was minus 160 when I put it out on premiums.
Yep.
Now it's anywhere between 230 and 250.
I know. It's one of the reasons that I went to day of on my premium picks as opposed to the night before on baseball plays, because when you get 90 cents worth of movement and people open up their computer at noon, they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? This is not 160, it's 250. And then, of course, the next thing they want to know, is it still the right play? And there's a really good chance it might have been a good play at 160. It ain't a good play at 250. So yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I feel for but not picks the night before. It's definitely comes with its own set of challenges. So got the Guardians against Colorado. We talked about that. Blue Jays laying a big number against the Orioles. What's pitching match up there, Chris?
It's Tyler Wells against Gausman.
Okay. All right. So
now Wells, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He's pitched fairly well of late. He's still not going deep in the games.
I was going to say Wells has been for a Baltimore pitcher, especially. He hasn't sucked.
He beat the Royals in his last start.
3.86 ERA, 108 WHIP. So again, remember one of those games were against the Royals, so it's going to help your numbers.
And he did blank the Red Sox over 6 innings back at the end of May.
Gausman's been fantastic. We've talked about that a lot. So
Gausman has been very unlucky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for a guy to be 5-5 with a sub-3 ERA, and he's walked 10 guys and struck out 77.
Say it with me. Wins mean what?
Right? Nothing.
They can. You can have a good season that matches up with win totals, but it doesn't happen all the time. You can see outliers like this, 5-5, and he's been pitching very, very well.
Yeah,
so,
he
won the Cy Young with 14 wins.
True.
With the Royals, So
well, Robbie Ray only won 13 last year.
Well, fuck, you don't have 20-game winners anymore. Had one 20-game winner last year. That was it.
But I mean, you look at Gausman's last start. He threw 6 innings. You have 2 runs, 1 earned,
right,
on 6 hits, and they lost 3-1 to Bo Brisky, who now has Major League win number 1.
Yep, absolutely correct. So Gausman's been better than his win totals indicate, but his secondary stats are just outstanding.
And you're absolutely right about wins not matching up, because I looked in that game yesterday where Toronto led 6-2 in the 7th, at 6-3 in the 8th, only to end up winning in extras. The win went to Adam Simber, who's 7-2 out of the bullpen.
Jesus. Where'd Gausman's wins go? Oh, there they are.
I mean, you think he's like Roy Face? You remember Roy Face?
Sure.
Back in the day,
Elroy Face.
Yeah.
Right, Elroy Face.
I don't know if it was.
They're two different guys.
I'm gonna check. Roy Face pitched for the Pirates. I'm sure Marlo may know who he is, or who he is. Let me see. Yeah, he's the same guy.
Okay. All right. So who is it? Roy or Elroy?
Well, if you look at Baseball Reference, he's Roy, but his real name is Elroy.
Okay. There you go.
But
I love it when we're both right. That just makes it fun.
But you look at, and Face was a prime example. In 1959, he pitched in 57 games and went 18-1 out of the bullpen.
Well, I know we've referenced the Tom Gordon year before with the Royals, where he
right.
went, I think 14.
That's a good example too. More recent
out of the bullpen. So, okay, yeah, I'm okay with the Blue Jays here. Am I a little gun shy? Gausman's 5-5 for all of our ranting. The Jays are just 6-4 in his starts, so they haven't done him any favors at all as far as winning baseball games. I might be a little reluctant to lay that number, Chris. I got to be honest with you. Toronto's obviously the far better team, but Wells has been okay. Gausman's been unlucky.
I'm just hoping that Baltimore's bullpen, wilts.
Pukes on their shoes, absolutely. Now, Yankees over Tampa Bay, minus 230. That's
the generous end of that equation, because God knows, last I looked, the numbers were still, all over the friggin' place.
That's Severino going against Beeks.
Scott and I were talking. I thought it was gonna be Jeffrey Springs originally. I think they pulled him and went with Beeks.
See, and I had a different pitcher down that I wanted to fade, and I was given because we were talking about for farm play, and I was like, yeah, let's do that one. And then I saw Beeks, and I asked Raichel. I said, oh, it says it's Beeks. I said, hey, whatever happened to Beeks? And
he hasn't pitched a ton this season, I don't think.
No, dude, he got the reference. It's from Trading Places.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, and so that's what I like about Raichel. You can throw him obscure shit like that, and he'll fire it right back. He knows his movies. He knows his sports, and he knows his movies. He's pretty good. So, Severino, he's been outstanding. Like many of these Yankee starters have. The Yankees are 9-2 in his starts, 280 ERA, 103 WHIP. Yes. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Tampa Bay. Good team, not a great team. Yankees 30 over, Tampa Bay 8 over.
Tampa Bay's also struggled lately, putting runs on the board.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we talked about that at the beginning of the season when we did our preview. Scott and I, we talked about this Tampa Bay team always seems to have the pitching, and they always seem to struggle on the offensive side of the ball, and that looked like it was going to be the case even more than normal in this season. And
yeah, I mean, they scored 3 runs in the first 2 games of this series.
Can't have it. Yankees pitching has been outstanding. Starters have been outstanding. Bullpens have been outstanding. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Yankees won 6 straight. Yeah, I'm cool with that. And of course, we talked about the Phillies over the Nats and Patrick Corbin. Yeah, that's a decent parlay. So here's what I wanted to talk about. So your money line parlay
sucks. I know.
Let me say this. So your first.
Oh no, I'm just pointing it out.
You're paying 3-2 at minus 130, minus 140. Your parlay plays 3-2, 150 on $100. Run line, of course, doubles that up, plays 3-1. But you take these 2 games, the Yankees and the Phillies, prohibitive favorites, minus 230, minus 190. If you put them together, you're still getting almost 6-5 on your money. You're still getting better than even money, which I think is the way to do it. You got American pickers it, man. You got to bundle them. You got to bundle it. You got to bundle those games to get 118.99. The run line doesn't help you all that much. It doubles it up, of course, but it's 236. At that point, see what I would do. I'd play the 2-teamer twice. See, that's thinking. I used to say, if I could hit the Powerball, I buy like 6 of the same number, because if one pays 240, just think what 6 are going to pay.
There you go.
I used to do that joke on stage, and people are like, you're an idiot. So, right. got a 4-teamer in there.
Yep. This one's a little bit better than those. I'm going to take the Rangers, like you said, Martin Perez. He's facing the aforementioned Bo Brisky, but like we've talked about before, the Tigers allergic to scoring.
Would it kill you to put out a nice Brisky?
Yeah, I know. It's like when I was watching an old Monday Nitro the other night, and they were doing a Nitro party, and funny enough, it was in Madison, Wisconsin. And Bobby Heenan's like, "Yeah, check out the spread they laid out. Cheese."
Nice. So the return of Tyler McGill, buddy.
Yeah, he's facing Aaron Ashby. I know a lot of people think that Ashby's going to turn in a solid outing. When I look and see that his numbers aren't very good,
right?
It's more like you need to show me that you can actually pitch.
So McGill's made 1 start since being out for a month with an injury. Lasted 3 1/3, 5 hits, 1 walk, 2 earned his last time out against the Angels. That's a whip that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 178, 118, somewhere in that neighborhood. So that's not ideal. There was some signs. I kind of wondered because he started off really, really well as he gave up no runs in his first 2 starts. And then he kind of started having some dips. And that, of course, culminated by giving up 8 earned and not being able to get out of the second against Washington. You figure, well, if you're giving up 8 runs to Washington, you got to be fucking hurt. And of course he was. So you're not pitching. You're in the penalty box for a month. You say you give up 8 runs to Washington, you're not pitching again in the major leagues for a fucking month.
Well, on the flip side of that, Ashby's last start was against the Washington Nationals last Friday, and he gave up 6 runs on 13 hits and 4 2/3.
Didn't go well. On the plus side, he didn't walk many people, so that's something.
True. He walked 1.
Just walked 1. He gives up 13 hits, 1 walk, so that's 14 and 4 2/3. You're getting dangerous.
Somewhere past 2.8.
You're getting dangerously close to a 3 there, my friend. That's ERA of 3. That's fine. A whip of 3. That is not fine at all. So, do we just play the dead over here?
I mean, you could.
Would that be on Shot in the Dark by any chance?
No, I was going to put it in there, and then I was trying to get basketball stuff in there. The over is 8.
Oh.
They bumped it up from 7.5.
Give me cracked corn, and I don't care. Yeah, give me if you want to take Milwaukee out of the equation, if you don't have confidence in them to score runs, and I don't blame you. Although they put up 10 yesterday, that's a fucking week's worth.
For them, pretty much.
You could play the Mets team total over, get it at 4.5.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that. Fading Ashby for sure. He's been not fantastic. So.
And I like
giving up 10 earned in his last 10 2/3. Not ideal.
Yeah, I like Hoskins to go over 1.5 total bases. Rye was saying, he's been on a roll of late, and he's had a lot of success against Corbin. Of course, then again, who hasn't?
Okay.
And then Ramirez, we talked about how right-handed pitching by. Where he's got 15 doubles and 13 homers against him. I just can't trust Colorado to shut him down.
Okay.
So I think he should easily go over that number. I just want to see how bad Corbin's been against Hopkins real quick.
Okay.
He's probably
all the way as Chris is looking that up. You can see that pays a little better than 15-2 at $756 on $100. If you want to just play the money lines. You want to stick that dismount? You want to add a pike to it? Hey, how about playing the run line? Give you almost 15-1. That's $14.58 on $100. You want to play the run line on the Rangers and the Mets. So
Hoskins in his career 8 for 26 against Corbin, 3 doubles, 2 homers, a 105.4 OPS.
That'll play, pig. That'll play. So that's a solid play right there. Very good. There's a 4-teamer. Hey, man, shot in the dark, and you're to blame.
Yep. I'm going to go with McKenzie over 4.5 strikeouts. Let's face it, Colorado likes to whiff. I'm going to take Ohtani with strikeouts. They're facing Seattle. And I'm going to lineup that has Eugenio Suarez and Julio Rodriguez, not Julio down by the schoolyard, not Alex Rodriguez. But, I think he'll go over 6.5 Ks. Severino over 6.5. Tampa Bay's been striking out at about a 25% clip against right-handed pitching in the last few weeks. I've got the Phillies and Nats over 9. We talked about that because Philadelphia could go over this number by themselves.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Rangers and Tigers to stay under 8.5. Detroit doesn't score, and Perez is pretty good at making sure the teams don't score.
So you're kind of threading the needle there, if you take Texas on the run line and then play the under.
Yeah, well, you got to figure Texas won't need more than 2 or 3 runs probably to win.
That's a legitimate point. We talked about this Detroit team that averages less than 3 runs per game. The only team in the majors that averages less than 3 runs per game, and that's they haven't done anything to change that here. Nothing on the horizon. So I like that.
Now this is the big plus money one that I found, and that was Andrew Wiggins to post a double. He's at plus 220.
Can't tell you how much I love that bet. He is becoming a force on the glass.
He
probably got some stats to back that up.
He had 16 boards in his last game. He had 1 double in the regular season. He's got 6 in the playoffs.
There you go. Yeah, he's really, really stepped up. I have to admit, I was wrong about Wiggins. I didn't see it when he was at Kansas. And I didn't see it. I didn't see the hype.
You're not the only one who was wrong on him. I mean, I didn't think he was going to amount to much either.
Right. Well, there you go. Misery loves company, my friend. I love that. Love that play. It's probably out of the 10. That's my favorite right there.
Yeah,
I'd play that at plus 150.
It started at plus 190 or 180 or 195. Beautiful. And it's gone up.
Beautiful.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, that works for me.
Okay.
Same thing with Smart there. He's over 16.5 points. He's at plus 105. If you look around at plus 8, over 18 points, I think at DraftKings or somewhere he was plus 150. If you get to over 20 or 22 points, it went up to like plus 425.
Okay.
So look around for that if you think Smart's going to put up more points. I know that he's averaged, I think, 21 in games after Boston is lost in the playoffs. So that's always a valuable option you could look at. Yeah. Robert, the Time Lord, I looked to go over 16.5 points and rebounds combined. He's played at least 25 minutes in each of the last 4 games. He's going to have to be effective on the glass and, maybe get some cheap buckets for Boston to hang around in here because it can't all be Tatum, especially in crunch time. Jaylen Brown's going to have a big game as well.
Yeah, they're really getting in the habit of just standing around in the fourth quarter waiting for Tatum to create. That's just not a good look. All right, so there's your 10-teamer. There's your 4-teamer. There's a couple of 2-teamers, guys. As always, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you checking us out. Don't forget, we are available in podcast form if you don't have an opportunity to watch the show someday. If you're driving around with the family, heading to the water park or some other bullshit you got roped into for Father's Day weekend. Hey,
sucks to be you.
You can check us out in podcast form. We're available at all your major podcast platforms, and of course, don't forget to rate and review, give us 5 stars, all that shit. So, without further ado,
the Padres are now in front 2-1.
There goes my under. I knew those.
Yep, Nomar Mazara hit a homer to right.
Jesus.
So apparently everybody's hitting it to right field.
All right, I still have hope.
Well, you might not because Swarmer's at 48 pitches already with 2 outs in the second.
Well, tune in to me and Scott here on the next show, and you can watch my hope go up in flames in real time. That'll be fun. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. Chris, thanks for doing your thing as always. Another great job by you. And you guys come back and see us tomorrow. If you can't hang for me and Scott, just come back and see us tomorrow. Well, Chris and I will wrap it up. It'll be Friday. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about a bunch of different things. But, of course, we're going to be concentrating all of our energy on
just parlays.
That's right. You guys take care. We'll see you then.